Albert Rosales, Nick Sanchez. We're with FightHype.com. We're sitting here with Evan Tanner. How you doing, buddy?
Good, doing great.
Good. Training's going good.
Oh,
Everything's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, training's going great.
Well, let's see. First off, let's just get started. Before we even get to the training or the fights or something, let's get to know you as a person for your fans out there and stuff. What do you like to do outside of the ring?
Like to ride my motorcycle. Back in the day, I used to surf. I'm up in Vegas now, so I'm doing some off-roading up in the desert. Been enjoying that.
Right. I keep up with your blogs quite a bit. I know you like to travel a lot. I know you get around.
Yeah, love to travel.
What's your plans for the future here?
For traveling or
Traveling? Are you got any plans? Moving maybe up this way closer?
actually, been thinking about Vegas is nice and everything, but a lot of plastic people there. Sorry, Vegas. But no, I've been doing really well in Vegas. I like it there, but California's always been more my speed. So I'm looking at moving down to Orange County somewhere, possibly starting up a gym, and really focusing on taking advantage of the opportunities that are out there right now, and trying to make some money for my retirement in the future. Someday I'm going to have to do it. So that's what I'm looking at right now. After that, who knows? Maybe you'll travel Europe, take a backpack and take the train around Europe or something.
Right on. Well, let's see. You took 2 years off from fighting. It's a pretty well-known fact. You took some time off. You came back. Your very first fight back after 2 years off was Yushin Okami, who's a beast. It's a pretty tough fight to take after a 2-year layoff. Would you, if going back in time, would you take that fight again, or would you try and maybe take a little easier way back in?
That was a fight that was offered. It was a chance for me to get back in the UFC, take whatever's there. Of course, from a business standpoint, it would have made more sense to take a lower level opponent first fight back, but I'm not going to pick and choose. Sure, I'll fight Okami, so. The main challenge for me was just the simple fact of stepping back in the octagon. I kind of abused myself a bit, the 2 years off. Physically, I was pretty beat down physically. So it was a big challenge just to get back in the gym and get back in shape. And, I'm happy with that. Of course, I went in with, I was a little bit rusty, really rusty. And, got all that worked out of the system now, though, and feeling good. Got a good training camp set up, working with some good people, and feeling great going into this fight.
Who's helped you get ready for this fight? Who you got as training partners?
I've been working at the Warrior Training Center in Las Vegas with John Wood, Forrest Griffin, Babao of the Brazilian top team, some of the Brazilian top team guys. Having a great camp. Like I said, feeling great.
I kind of see you as an old school fighter. You're kind of fighting somebody who's considered the new breed of fighter. Kendall Grove, he brings a multitude of problems. His height, his reach, he's pretty well rounded. How have you prepared to fight Kendall, and what's your game plan?
Well, for Kendall, he definitely has the reach advantage, and the height is going to be awkward to deal with. As far as changing the training, haven't really changed the training. I've worked with my coach on specific approaches we need to use for Kendall as a fighter. The training is just as intense. Everything's the same there, but we do have some things we've been working on in preparation for Kendall. Like, getting ready for the reach, different approaches we're going to use inside the ring. But yeah, he's a younger guy. He's kind of represents the new evolution, So, hopefully I didn't get stuck back in the old days. Hopefully that I've been able to evolve with the sport. Although the 2 years off kind of set me back a little bit. I think I'm catching up fast. Like I said, the sport's obviously evolved, but I think I'm there.
He's coming off a couple of tough fights as well. Have you studied any of those fights to look and see maybe where his weaknesses are? Maybe he's having a problem with a certain type of fighter. Have you looked at any of that?
I've looked at Kendall's fights. from what I can tell, he doesn't like pressure. You know, he likes more of a, you know, he likes to get out there and dance a little bit, kind of more laid back, more slower paced fight. You know, the guys that really pressure him hard, you know, do really well against him. So, yeah, that's really what I'm going to be looking at doing when I get in there. I always do that anyway. I'm always coming forward, always pressuring. It's my way.
And you've been in the game for a long time. And sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that, but you've pretty much seen everything there is in the game. What's the biggest difference in today's fighter as opposed to someone that you might have fought, 10, 11 years ago?
You know, today's fighters are much more well-rounded. What's a way to say this? They're much more well-rounded. You know, they've had the opportunity to work a lot more, but there's like this core toughness that a lot of them seem to lack. You know, a lot of those old guys were just the older guys, the old school guys were just hardcore mean dudes that would just get in there and go. These guys now they've had the opportunity to study all these things. They have all these advantages that those guys didn't have. But a lot of these new guys are missing just that deep core, just meanness. That's my opinion anyway.
Now, what got you started in fighting, and how did you start? Was there a gym? Is it someone that got you to go to a gym, or?
No, I never had any intention of fighting. I remember way back when UFC very first started. I'd sit with my friends and we'd see the guys walking out. We wouldn't know who they were. We'd just, I'll take that one. How much? You'd throw bets on them. Just for the look of the guy. And but I never ever thought I would be fighting. Never dreamed I'd be fighting. I was out traveling, adventuring, stopped in my hometown. They were doing like a little local fight, and stopped in to watch that because some friends I knew were fighting. So watched that show, and I was thinking, I'm out traveling, adventuring, I'm gathering stories for my kids that I'm gonna have someday. Wouldn't that be a cool story if I, signed up for a fight and got video of me fighting with, my dad was a pro fighter one time, and so I thought, I'm gonna sign up for it. And I was gonna do it one night, and I was done. Ended up signing up for the fight, won the tournament, and kept getting invited back. And next thing you know, I've been fighting for 11 years. Been in the UFC 16 times. It's just kind of something that happened to me. It's not something I set out to do.
And looking at your resume, it's a who's who of opponents that you've had. Is there a certain fight that you're the most proud of, that you look back and say, that's the fight that I want, when people watch it, I want them to think of me?
I'd say one of the fights I put the most into was the fight with Dave Terrell. I went in ready for that fight, confident. I was confident with my training, confident with everything. That's one of the fights I like the best. A lot of my other fights, maybe I won the fight, but it wasn't the full dedicated me going out there. It was like a fraction. It's like I got lucky and won. I didn't feel I deserved it. So even a lot of the fights I won, I didn't feel I deserved it. That one I trained hard, I pushed hard. I'm proud of that fight. A lot of the others, I didn't put in the preparation, I didn't put in the time, I didn't do what I should have done. Sometimes I got lucky and won, sometimes I lost, but I like that one.
Right on. Well, we appreciate you taking time to spend with us. Do you have any sponsors or anything you'd like to thank, training partners, anything?
Definitely want to thank Babao at the Warrior Training Center, John Wood down at the Warrior Training Center in Forest. A bunch of I want to see him. Definitely the guys out at Warrior taking care of me. I appreciate you guys. Who else? I'm sure there are a ton of people I think, but it's always hard to remember.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks,
really appreciate it, Evan.